If you're relocating to Dayton, or you're considering buying your first home in the greater Dayton area, or if you're PCSing here to Dayton as part of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and you haven't considered about the value of your home in terms of equity, you're actually leaving money on the table. Dayton is one of the most underrated real estate markets in all of the Midwest, and the MLS data actually backs it up. In 2025, the Dayton Realtor MLS actually stated that the median sale price was $255,000. That's up 6% from $240,000 in 2024, and the total sales volume in 2025 topped $4.2 billion. That's up 6% over 2024. 2024 alone saw 7% growth in the median sales price and more than 8% growth in the average sale price altogether. So these are straight numbers from the Dayton Real Estate MLS. They're not just my gut opinion or anything like that. So these are facts. And this is why I'm here to tell you a little bit about what equity can do for you here in the greater Dayton market. My name's David Moyer. I'm with Keller Williams Advisors Real Estate in Dayton, Ohio. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about what some of the factors go into play when it comes to calculating your equity here, whether you're here in Dayton for a lifetime or if you're here for just a few years as part of our military personnel that come in and out of Dayton on a regular basis. If this is your first time, make sure you like and subscribe my channel. I have different topics every single week, and we talk about everything from the festivals of Dayton, the ins and outs of Dayton, everything greater Dayton and the suburbs, everything that's going around. But let's talk about what equity can do for you. So let's talk about appreciation overall and some long run appreciation. So independent analysis altogether shows that actually in Dayton, prices have risen more than 113% over the last decade, roughly 7.9% per year on average, putting Dayton in the top 30% of all the entire United States markets for appreciation. So price index in Dayton and Kettering alone shows about a 7% growth year over year in the most recent years and roughly 57% over the last 5 years. So at the end of 2024, there were around 1,900 active listings, equal to about 1.8% months of inventory. At the end of 2025, we had about 2,200 listings, still right around 1.8 months of inventory. Our market still remains tight. A balanced market is typically around 4 to 6 months of supply. So Dayton is still firm on the light side of listings, which means inventory is tight, which means appreciation remains there. In 2024, homes sold close to 100% of the list price, and in 2025, they were right around 99.7%, which means sellers were still getting close to full asking price. So the metro area also in Dayton has shifted from manufacturing to what we call EDS, MEDS, and FEDS, education, healthcare, and military. They make up about 19% of our jobs are in manufacturing and our military personnel. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base actually brings in about $17 billion in annual economic activity in the greater Dayton area, and that helps to support the job growth overall, maintaining our housing market. So when you combine all of that, decades of work, the EDS, MEDS, and FEDS, it continues to keep our market moving and keeps the equity increasing year after year after year. What I tell a lot of people that move here from out of state is that what's great about the Dayton area and the Midwest in general is we are a lot more insulated here from economic factors that cause massive shifts on the East and West Coast. So if you're only here for a couple of years, sometimes looking at that buy market versus the rental market actually is really smart. And we're going to talk about that here in just a little bit. So buying in Dayton is not just enough. The zip code, the school district, the tax district you pick, those can easily swing your long-term equity by 5 or 6 figures. Let's talk about Kettering, for instance. It's an established, stable housing stock with constant move-up demand. And sales price is right around $245,000, roughly 800 homes sold in the past year. It's a very, very liquid middle-class market, most would say. Centerville, Washington Township, strong schools, larger homes, they draw a lot of families. Median price around $337,000, around 950 closings in the past years. They show a deep, steady demand of home prices, and especially for families that are moving into the area. Beaver Creek is the closest suburb to areas like Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and it has a big share of the military personnel and defense. So a lot of those buyers come from that pool of buyers. Right there, around $345,000 is the median price, about 800 sales over the past year. Oakwood would call my blue chip. That's more of the inner ring, suburb, walkable, historic, top tier type school buyers. It's premium pricing. Median price is right around $385,000. about 150 sales last year. It's a smaller community, lower turnover, but strong pricing and higher equity. Now you have Springboro farther south. It's high growth, family oriented. It's in Warren County. It's got an attractive tax bracket. Newer housing stock, a lot of new construction. Median price right around $475,000, around 570 to 600 closings in the past year. So I've been selling in this market for over 21 years, and the suburbs with strong school districts and stable tax structures almost never let you down when it comes to resale. Even if you're moving into the area and it's just you, or if you're newly married, or you don't plan on having kids, sometimes looking at that tax structure or the school system can be the most important factor when it comes to figuring out how to get the best equity out of your investment. Now this one goes out to all my Wright-Pat personnel, my people that are PCSing here to the greater Dayton area, and this goes for those that are thinking about renting while they're here for the next 4 to 5 years. So if you just got your orders to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, first of all, welcome to Dayton, and this part is specifically for you. The biggest mistake that I see a lot of personnel and families make when they're moving into the area is they automatically default to renting because they automatically assume that they won't be here for very long, and buying to them just doesn't make sense. So the key numbers that I want to talk about is how your BAH actually adds up to equity and mortgaging here in the greater Dayton area. The average BAH nationally actually went up about 4.2% from 2025 to 2026. Actually, at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in 2026, the BAH, according to studies, the rates went up around 6% over 2025. And members with dependents receive about 23% more BAH than those without their dependents. So an example, in 2026, an E6 with dependents receives roughly $1,851 per month, and O3E with dependents is around $2,259 a month, give or take. These are just estimates. Local rents around the base, if you're going to be somewhere in Fairborn, smaller rents, right around $1,000 to $1,100 a month in Fairborn. And if you're going out into more like Beaver Creek or Centerville, you're looking at right around $1,800 to maybe $2,200 a month. And that depends on the type of property, the size. Is it an apartment? Is it a house? A 3-bedroom home often lands at around $1,400 to the low $2,000 a month. And that's right around what your BAH is going to land you. Let's take this as an example. Let's say you have a $250,000 loan at the average right now at 6.25%, a VA loan, and you're financing 100% using your VA benefits. Your principal and interest, $1,540 a month. Your home property tax, $250 a month. That'd be about $3,000 a year. Homeowner's insurance, let's estimate that to be around $100 a month. That makes your total monthly payment roughly $1,890 a month. That's right in line with what your BAH is when you move here to the greater Dayton area. If your BAH is $1,850 a month and a modest home near the base has a mortgage payment in that same ballpark, every month you own, a chunk of that BAH is actually paying down your principal and building equity instead of paying your landlord's mortgage, because that's whose mortgage you're paying if you're actually renting, right? So Dayton area median price actually climbed 7% in 2024, remember that, and another 6% in 2025. So over a 2 to 3 year tour, if that's how long you're here, that alone can stack meaningful equity on top of your principal. So once again, the advantages to you as a veteran and using your VA loan is you have no down payment typically, you have no PMI using your veteran benefits, and you also have competitive rates versus someone that's financing conventional. So if you want to see exactly what your BAH could buy in Fairborn or Beaver Creek or Kettering or Centerville, just drop your rank and whether you have dependents in the comments, or just reach out to me directly and we can run the numbers with you individually. I do it all the time with my military families every single week and see exactly how this equity could help you as you move forward, whether you're staying here in Dayton or not. So at the end of the day, Dayton isn't a secondary market that you settle for. It's a market that quietly builds wealth while you live your life. So the winning combo, and here it is at the end of the day. Entry prices far below the coastal prices in the big city markets. That's what Dayton has to offer. We also have a 10-year appreciation rate that tracks around 7 to 8% year after year after year. We also have the tight inventory that I've talked about that keeps us at a 1.8 month supply. That's tight when you're moving into the area, but if you're looking to sell and build that equity, it keeps that equity growing. And the demand anchored by our healthcare, our education, and our federal presence at Wright-Patterson keeps that equity moving at a rapid pace consistently, no matter what's happening on the outside. So, if you're relocating here for work, or any type of major hospitals, universities, defense contractors, or you're PCSing here with your family and coming to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, or even if you're downsizing and you're coming here from a big metro area like Chicago or DC or any of the coasts, East or West Coast, or maybe you're just a first-time home buyer who wants their first purchase they make to actually be a really good equity play and not just a place to live. I can put together a consultation for you or anyone who's considering a move here. It shows your buying power, which school districts and suburbs you might want to check out, what lines up with your goals, and what your 3 to 5 year equity picture might actually look like based off of what your needs are. All the links are in my description. So, once again, my name's David Moyer. I'm with Keller Williams Advisors Real Estate. Make sure you like, comment, and especially subscribe. Ring that bell because I have new information every single week about the greater Dayton area. It's always real estate based, and it's always a lot of fun too. You're going to learn something every single time, and it's going to help somebody also that you may know that is either relocating here to the area or is buying their first home or maybe downsizing. So once again, thanks for joining. And I love selling real estate in Dayton, Ohio.